Hey everybody, this is Linda with Ink Stampin' Scrap, and this is a bonus video to finish off the last project from my live yesterday. I had a few technical difficulties and things got cut off, so if you didn't watch the live yet, go back and watch that. It'll be linked below this video, and if you're looking at this video through my blog post, you'll see both videos inside this blog post. We were using the Whimsical trees, and I was making lots and lots of Christmas samples, all of which you could easily mass produce. That's the theme right now. What can I do to minimize my time and maximize the amount of cards that I am going to make for the holidays? So Whimsical Trees has all of these great stamps as well as these beautiful dies, some of which coordinate with the stamped images and some of which are great bonuses that you can add to your projects to add dimension and different images to your holiday cards. All right, so let's go ahead and create the last card that I was working on, and then we can move into showing you a recap of all the cards that we made. So this is the card that I'm going to create right now. This is the one that got cut off towards the end. So the thing I wanted to show you in this card is even with Whimsical Trees that doesn't have a designated background stamp, you can use the ornament stamp to create this cool speckled background. And then we're gonna go ahead and use a couple of the extra dies to go with the tree to decorate them, just to give the tree a little more dimension and pop. And I'm gonna show you a couple tips and tricks on how to get these on and not worry about the fact that the ornaments in the star are smaller than the standard glue dot. So let's get started. All right, so the materials that we need for this card are a basic white full card measuring 11 by 4 1/4. And then we're going to use this to make our speckled background, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. Next, we're going to use a layer to stamp the tree that is 2 1/2 by 3 5/8. And finally, we're going to use the largest scalloped frame from Stitch So Sweetly dies to create the mat for the tree. All of these dimensions will be in the PDF that is located either linked below in the video or on the blog post. And while I'm just getting all set up here, I just wanted to mention, if you are watching this on YouTube, I would so appreciate you subscribing to my channel, clicking the notification bell so you know when I post videos, and please give this a like because YouTube will send this to more viewers if you could so kindly do that. All right, let's get started. Let's start with the tree this time, just to mix it up. Last time I started with the background. So I'm going to stamp the tree, and I'm going to stamp it pretty high on this because I want some room for my trunk below. There we go. And then I'm going to take my marker and just do my squiggly trunk. The stamp set didn't come with a trunk, but you can just imitate the art that's there and get it in. And then I am going to start adding all of my decorations, if you will. I'm going to add a star at the top of the tree and ornaments around. So I'm going to walk you through the first one of these, and you're definitely going to want some kind of a tool like the Take Your Pick tool. This has the putty on one end and a pointer on the other, so it makes it really easy to use when you're doing things like this. And I've got my handy glue dots here. I'm going to kind of stretch them out so I can see where the next ones are. They start right here. So I'm just going to lay that there just to make things a little bit easier. I'm going to grab an ornament, and I'm going to grab it the right way, and then I'm going to set it on my glue dot. That one's icky. Must have been something in my little container here. So let's start with this one. I'm going to set it on here, and then I'm going to pull this off, and you can see that there's a fair amount of glue dot showing. So all I'm going to do is kind of tuck it under there. And it doesn't have to be perfect because I'll clean that up at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video so you don't have to watch every single one, but you'll see that that's the way that these are going to go on. Got my ornaments on and my star at the top. I'm gonna wrap these up real quick, and then This is the trick. Take an anti-static powder bag that you would use for embossing. This used to be called the Embossing Buddy with Stampin' Up! If you have one of those, and just tap it on the top of all of these. And then I'm just going to use a microfiber cloth and just kind of wipe it off just to get the excess powder to go away. And now, anywhere that any of the glue dots were sticking out isn't sticky anymore. And it never will be because it's got a little microscopic layer of powder on, and that's it, and you're good to go. All right, so let's finish off this card. I'm going to glue this layer down on the frame, and then we'll make the background. It seems to have clotted overnight. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. All right, so I'm going to center this on the frame, just like so. Perfect. Okay, and then we'll set that aside to dry. I'm not sure why I'm singing everything today, but I am. This doesn't feel like, yeah, this is a bigger one than I need. Let me trim that down. Sometimes it happens. Good to notice before we get going. So now I'm going to use the speckled stamp and my Magenta Madness ink pad, and I'm just going to stamp around. Now, this is clearly in the shape of a triangle, and usually your background stamps are either just kind of an odd circle-ish oval or a square or a rectangle, which makes it easy to fill things in. Admittedly, a triangle is not the best shape to have, but what I recommend is that you don't stress about overlapping. It's okay if they overlap a little. I don't recommend that you stamp this so many times that you can't tell it started out as a white piece of paper, but this is good. So I'm going to stop right there. And now that means that we can assemble the rest of the card. So I'm just going to put dimensionals on the back of this frame, and then we'll glue the whole thing down onto the card base. So we'll put these here. Okay, not just a backing, there's a whole one. And I'll show you another trick with your take your pick tool that you can use to get the backings off of all of your glue dot or foam dot, sorry. That one's missing. That one, I stuck one on. There we go. But at least it just takes it off in a nice clean stack. All right, I'm gonna hold that off for a second. I'm gonna glue this down first. It'll just make assembly easier. Never a good idea to glue down multiple layers at once if you can avoid it. So there we go. Just easier to center this. Make sure I get all the ends. I'm gonna center this. I've got about 1/4 of an inch difference, so I should have nice alleys on the sides and the top and bottom. There we go. All right, so there's that. Now I'm going to lay this down in the middle, and this is the card that I wanted to complete yesterday. There we go. All right, so now as a recap, let me just show you all the cards that we have created. Let me grab them here. So these are all the cards from the live yesterday. I highly encourage you to watch it if you haven't yet. This was with the ornaments. I showed you tips on how to use the Stamparatus a couple of different ways in order to make that one. We used different colors for this one and then recreated it once again as a monochromatic card. For the trees, we created this card, and then I also showed you this one. And I showed you a blue version of the green one that we created, which is right here. And last but not least, I added a few extras just to show you. Again, I'm using that large frame from the Stitch So Sweetly dies and just the Joy stamp just to show you. These are all the greetings. There's actually one more I'm just about to show you. And So this is probably the simplest of all. You could even stamp this flat on the card and just have a one layer card. And then this one is the most complicated, if you will, or it just is going to take you the longest. This is using the inlay dies as well as the trim on top of 2 of the extra tree dies. This is the 4th greeting that comes in this stamp set. And then I just added my own little tree trunk here with some early espresso. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please consider clicking that subscribe button so that you can be a part of this community, and definitely click the notification bell so you know every time that I post a video. I would so appreciate a like on this video so that YouTube will send it to more people and we can even grow our community even larger. Have a great day and enjoy crafting.